Welcome back to Outside Views, and today we're talking about what happens when political deal-making meets the dreary, frustrating reality of paperwork. And the topic is the Windsor Framework, the supposed fix for the Northern Ireland Protocol, and a new report has just confirmed what business owners have known all along. The government's official guidance on how to use this complex system is not fit for purpose. And this isn't just a minor administrative failing. It's a damning indictment of the entire post-Brexit process, revealing that even when a political agreement is reached, the foundational work required to make life easier for people on the ground simply isn't being done. The Windsor Framework Independent Monitoring Panel, a body set up as part of the deal to restore the Northern Ireland devolved government, has published its first paper, and the findings are brutal. They said the official online information is poorly presented, unwieldy, and needs to be significantly improved to ensure businesses can actually access the information they need. And this is infuriating because the entire point of the Windsor Framework was to introduce the Green Lane, the internal market system for goods staying in Northern Ireland, drastically reducing checks compared to the Red Lane for goods moving into the Republic of Ireland and the EU. It was supposed to be the great simplification and the final piece of the puzzle that would make the sea border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland disappear in all but name. But what is the benefit of a simpler system if the instructions are so convoluted, so impenetrable, that businesses can't even figure out how to use the Green Lane they fought so hard for? It proves that the political ground staining around the framework, the insistence that the union was safeguarded, was hollow without the meticulous, tedious, and essential bureaucratic support. The government claimed the framework would create frictionless trade, yet the monitoring panel highlighted a clear mismatch between this general public view and the actual reality of the provisions. And this is the heart of the Brexit deception. The political outcome is always sold as simple, while the technical reality is layered with complexity that actively burdens the taxpayer and the business owner. They are taking everyone for fools, as the traditional unionist voice leader Jim Allister put it when he accused the government of deception over the true extent of the trade barriers. Traders and consumers know the reality to be very different from the glossy press releases. It is a system so confusing that hauliers are telling a Stormont committee that it's literally easier to move goods from Great Britain to Northern Ireland by travelling through the Republic of Ireland first. Let that sink in. The most efficient, least bureaucratic route for an internal UK market movement is to pass through a third country, completing a single customs entry into the Republic of Ireland, rather than tackling the quite horrendous cost and bureaucracy of the direct internal UK route. And Alistair Hobson from Montgomery Transport Group described the direct journey as required almost 17 different types of customs entry to move goods into Northern Ireland compared to just one via Dublin. And this situation is absolutely ridiculous, as one DUP assembly member correctly stated. And you know that I'm not citing them too often. The UK government, whose primary responsibility is supposed to be the cohesion of its internal market, has created an environment where an international route through the EU is demonstrably simpler than a domestic route. And it's an absolute shambles and a profound embarrassment and a spectacular failure of government. The official response from the Northern Ireland Secretary Hilary Benn at the time was simply to welcome the report and say the recommendations will be considered. And what has changed? And this is the boilerplate language of a government hoping the problem will just go away, while the DUP leader Gavin Robinson correctly pointed out that the Secretary of State cannot continue to tinker around the edges in the hope that this problem will simply go away. And this is not about tinkering, this is about fixing a core flaw in the architecture of a major international treaty that is actively damaging the UK's own internal supply chains. And while the monitoring panel did confirm that the government's pledge of 80% of the value of goods moving under freight are using the internal market system, with a figure actually hitting 96%, this statistic is a misleading distraction from the real issue. And the value of goods is high because many large companies and supermarkets have successfully navigated the system, but the ease and accessibility of the system for SMEs, the backbone of the economy, remains horrendous. And the sheer complexity evidenced by the 17 different types of customs entry is precisely why the guidance being unwieldy and poorly presented is so critical. And everybody will say now, yeah, that was Hillary Ban. But the question is, what has changed since then? How easy would it be if everything is applied now? And how understandable is it now? Are people still there to hire costly people to navigate them through that? And this is the invisible cost of Brexit that never makes the headlines. The slow, insidious erosion of trade links due to the overwhelming administrative friction. And what is the current Labour government doing on that? Northern Ireland companies are still in a good place. They have dual market access, allowing Northern Ireland businesses to sell seamlessly into both the UK and the EU markets. And that is really good for them. They have the best of both worlds, as you can put that. But the Windsor Framework is a compromise that requires every single business in the UK's internal market to become a specialist in customs bureaucracy just to move goods between two parts of the same country. And once again, the negotiations we talked about yesterday could make a lot of this much easier as well. And that's why I brought back this topic and the report that hit hard on the Conservative government before Labour. But we are not much further in this case. The Labour government could do a lot about this by finally working on their sanitary and phytosanitary alignment with the EU. And everything is still stalling because they don't want to pay the prices I talked about yesterday. And I know in the beginning of the video, a lot of people will have said, oh, yeah, but that's the Conservative government, the former government. Yeah, the former government. And the report came for the former government. What has the current government done where this text wouldn't still fit on them? And that's why I made this video. I know that only a number of people will watch to this point. I will see that in the comments that they comment long before reaching this point of the video. What has the current government changed in these relations? Put that in the comments below the video, and I'm really looking forward to reading your comments on that one. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.